2025 could be a challenging year for thousands of water utility companies across the state and their customers. A new lead and copper rule requires the replacement of lead service lines within the next 10 years. WRTV Investigates Kara Kenny spoke with the federal agency tasked with implementing those changes.
All over the state, water customers are receiving letters like this one, letting them know they have a lead service line. It's part of a push under the Biden administration to replace all lead pipes within the next 10 years. But could that change under a Trump administration? And what are the feds doing to help Indiana with this massive undertaking? We took those questions to the federal EPA.
Communities around this country are rolling up their sleeves to upgrade water infrastructure.
Bruno Piggott is in charge of all things water. He's the acting administrator for water at the federal EPA. Piggott knows Indiana. He worked for the Indiana Department of Environmental Management, or IDEM, for 21 years. Why is it so important that these lead service lines be replaced?
It's all about public health. It's about ensuring that when you turn on that tap water, when you brush your teeth at the end of the day, that the water you're consuming is clean and safe.
Drinking lead-tainted water can damage the brain and nervous system and can even cause heart issues in adults. 4,000 water systems across Indiana are impacted by the new lead and copper rule. They must do an inventory of the number of lead service lines and notify impacted customers. When it comes to water systems that don't have as much resources, what type of advice do you have to those water systems?
There's more money available than ever before in the history of this country for water and wastewater improvements, including $26 million to remove lead service lines.
They've also invested $200 million in technical assistance programs to help small communities. IDEM sent out more than 170 violation letters to water systems that failed to submit a preliminary inventory by the October 16th deadline.
We know this doesn't occur overnight, which is why the rule has communities starting the process with evaluating how many lead service lines are available. And we are available to help.
You know, one question we heard is, why has this taken so long?
The Biden-Harris administration and the president himself, in each of his State of the Union addresses, made a commitment to replacing all the lead service lines within 10 years, which is why we reformulated the rule to ensure that not only are communities identifying where the lead service lines are, or that they're taking some action when they exceed the action level, but also that regardless, that they replace all their lead service lines.
Can you say whether or not these efforts will continue under a Trump administration?
Well, I can't really speak for the new administration, but what I can tell you is that communities are already hard at work replacing these lead service lines. I'm very confident that regardless of what the new administration does, the communities themselves are committed to improving the public health protections that removing these lead service lines provides.
Water systems can get assistance through the Indiana Finance Authority. IFA says 850 have already requested and received financial or technical assistance, and no communities were denied. Piggott says every dollar spent in removing lead service lines saves $13 in other costs like health care. What are the stakes if this does not get done?
Well, the stakes are public health that's just not protected. It's about our children and their future.
Just because your utility says they're lead-free does not mean that's the case for what's coming out of your tap. If you have concerns, just ask your water system to do a test at your home. Kara Kenny, WRTV.
You can also reach out to the state to get your water tested at your home. We've included resources in this story on the WRTV app and at WRTV.com. WRTV Investigates has reached out to the Trump transition team to learn about its plan for the lead and copper rule, and we are still waiting to hear back.